Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. I'm Swanson, host of the TV Tuners podcast. Every week on TV Tuners, me and my co-hosts, Keo Rain.
Swanson, I need water.
And Stairmaster review the latest in TV and discuss news, trailers, and even find time to play some fun games. Right now, we're working overtime to cram as much TV knowledge into our brains as possible. Isn't that right, guys?
Swanson, we've been here for 24 hours. We need to get out of here.
Not until you answer who Norm is.
He's Frasier's brother.
Wrong. You get the shock. Check out TV Tuners, available on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, or any of the podcatchers of your choice.
This podcast is part of the Big Heads Media Podcast Network. Go to bigheadsmedia.com for more great podcasts.
Hey everyone, you're wasting time with Chris, Beth, and Matt. My name is Chris Williams. With me as always are...
Beth Golpe.
And Matt December.
How are you guys?
Doing so well. How are you, Chris?
I'm good. It's nice to see you guys through a computer screen. We weren't able to record together for this one, but we're both sitting in our living rooms, all sitting in our living rooms, and yeah, maybe it's better this way.
So far, so great.
So we'll see if Skype cooperates, but so far, so good. How's your summer?
Good. Hot and busy, and I have a really nice tan already from playing outside with my kids nonstop. So
nice.
You doing good?
Yeah, thank you.
Nice, Matt. How about you? Do you have a tan from playing with your kids all summer?
I know. I do have a tan. We spent a week in North Carolina with Sarah's family and rented a house, and there was a pool and went swimming. So yeah. I don't know if my tan looks okay now, but was looking kind of tan-ish.
Here, let's do an arm compare. Oh, I am infinitely tanner than you.
No, you're red.
That's not red.
You're red. I'm tan.
Brown.
So did that, and then was in Oregon for this last weekend for the 4th of July, and then I'm going to be in Boston this next weekend. So yeah, it's
busy. You don't say Oregon, you just say Portland because it's different.
It's not.
Yeah, it is. It's cooler.
Portland's a whole other world, man.
Yeah.
I mean, Portland was very cool.
Nice.
Oregon's very cool.
I have my own little tan going because we spent pretty much all the holiday weekend outside and took the kids to the water park, which terrified me, but it was a lot of fun.
Why did it terrify you?
Because A, taking the kids anywhere, you just kind of anticipate, oh, this is going to be bad. But B, it's like a water park, and I get really terrified when my kids are around water. But they were great. My daughter, she's 3, and she was going down all these little water slides. I went to go help her, and she just kind of stopped me, and she's like, "No, Dad, I will do it myself." And, and so that was great, and it wasn't too crowded, and it was nice.
Cool. Yeah, I'm taking my kids to Great Wolf Lodge in a week or 2.
Oh, nice. But I haven't been spending all the time outside. Because, as we're talking about this week, Stranger Things is back, and it has been consuming a lot of my viewing time, as I know you guys have been watching it too, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Correct.
And I forget, when we were doing It's My Favorite, I know we at least talked about Stranger Things the first year it came out, but did we do a second year on that?
I don't think we did.
No, because I think we were struggling to get together at that point.
Yeah, and... I don't know. I feel like there was other stuff going on at the same time. Maybe a Marvel movie or something. I don't know. But I don't think we talked about the second season.
Yeah, it was because that would have come out. That was Halloween weekend, right?
Yeah, and I think we kind of had this thing where we didn't like to talk about a show if we had talked about it the season previously.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a good point.
But now we have all new listeners, and so they can listen to us talk about Stranger Things all over again. Matt, you have finished it, correct?
I did. Sarah and I finished it last night. We watched. We had about halfway to go on episode 7, and then watched the entirety of episode 8.
Okay. I have one episode to go, and my husband was not happy last night that I had to go to bed. But it was 11 o'clock, and I'm like, I just really can't. I really can't.
Yeah, the last episode's a solid 80 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I didn't even realize that. We probably got 10 or 20 minutes into the last episode. And then there was like a really natural point to stop. So I was like, okay, stop. Chris, where are you?
We almost had the exact same experience as you last night, Beth. We're 6 episodes in, though, instead of 7. But I was really trying to watch them all before we recorded this, and we got to 10:30 last night, and I'm like, nope, I got to go to bed. Which really killed me, because I really wanted to hit that next episode button, but I decided to be responsible instead. And responsible
is your Kelly watching it with you?
Yeah, me and Kelly. That's one of the shows we will not watch without each other. So
that's very sweet.
Fun. Yeah, it's the one show she won't go through and watch without me when I'm like, I can't watch it tonight. So
right.
So yeah. We're a little bit behind you, but we should finish it in the next day or so. I didn't know that last episode was like movie length, so
yeah,
it might
awesome. I'm so excited.
So we are going to talk about basic plot things in this episode, but we will not do spoilers for the ending or where things where certain characters wind up at the end. But I guess Matt and Beth, let me know if I get any of these plot details wrong, but this takes place in 1985, over the 4th of July weekend, the same weekend that Back to the Future opened, and it finds, half the group is kind of dealing with relationship issues. Dustin is back from camp, and of course, weird things start happening involving monsters and the Russians. Did I sum that up okay?
I think so. Yeah.
All right. Well, Matt, since you finished it, why don't you start? What did you think about this season?
I liked it a lot, actually. I think I liked it. I think, generally speaking, the reviews have been kind of, I don't know, middling maybe. Like, I think most people didn't like it as much as seasons 1 or 2. I could be wrong, but that's kind of my impression. However, I think I liked it more than season 2. I think because I think in season 2 I just was a little tired of all the Will Byers stuff,
Mm-hmm.
And he really carried a lot of season 2 for some reason, and so he didn't have to do as much work this season. So maybe that's why I liked it more. But I think the I don't know. I think I enjoyed the pacing more this season, and I liked it a lot. I think it was. Yeah, I think I liked it. I definitely liked it more than season 2. I think I liked it almost as much as season 1, actually.
I just said that to my husband last night. I said I think I like this just as much as season 1, if not maybe a little bit more than season 1.
Oh, really?
And
Okay.
I definitely like it more than season 2. But
Yeah.
I had I feel like shows like this that have a super successful first season and have a really distinct style, in the second season, they're like, okay, we can't do it exactly the same, so they try some new stuff. And then in the third season, they figure out what worked and what didn't work. Because I feel like I always have this reaction where I'm like, I didn't like the second season, but now the third season is really good. And I think that they did. I think the part of me in the second season, I wasn't wild about how they were portraying Elle's character. In this one, 11, and this season I do, but a lot of other stuff too, and the music is still awesome no matter what season you're in. So
yeah. What about you, Chris? What are you thinking so far?
I'm pretty much right in there with you guys. I don't know if anything would beat that first season, because it kind of felt like something you discovered.
Yeah,
no one was anticipating it, and I remember it just felt like this nice little surprise. And I remember liking season 2, but I couldn't tell you half of what happened in season 2.
Yeah, exactly.
In fact, they have a 10-minute recap, it felt like, at the beginning of season 3, and I needed that because I did not remember half the stuff that happened, especially with Will. But I like this season quite a bit. It's right behind season 1, I think. I was telling Kelly this last night. I don't know if it's the best show on TV. I wouldn't call it that, but I think it might be the most watchable show. It moves so fast. There's no fat on this show. It's it's constantly, this plot is moving, and I don't think it hits that lull that the other Netflix shows hit, where, about halfway through, they're kind of spinning their wheels to figure out what comes next.
Yeah.
And this has a lot of energy to it, and I think what I really like is it has the mystery, it has all the horror stuff, and the sci-fi stuff that everyone likes, but it's still all about the characters, and it just has fun pairing off the characters for different things, and finding new combinations for them to break off into. And yeah, I mean, my favorite part in this whole season so far is just when Steve and Dustin are reunited at the beginning.
I know, they have such a cute relationship.
Yeah.
Very sweet.
Yeah, they're great. They have that little handshake, and so yeah, I like watching the characters hang out, and then they go fight monsters, and it's fun. It's kind of scary this season. It's really gross, and
it's so funny that you say that. I don't get grossed out by stuff, like, just generally speaking, but one of the episodes, maybe 5 or 6, I got physically nauseous watching that monster. Like, I couldn't. It was making me super sick.
Wow.
It's so gross, and it sounds.
It's just,
it's so gross.
Very wet.
It is. It's so gross. It was like, I don't know. You could see a lot of, like, particulate inside of it. It was just so nasty, and I really felt like I had to put my head in my hands, like I was feeling like car sick. It was so gross.
Yeah, I think I know what episode you're talking about, and we watched it last night. And same thing. Like, I can handle quite a bit, but it's a gooey and chunky monster. It's
chunky, exactly.
Yeah.
And it never lets up. It's on it. It's in it so much. I'm like, oh, just stop.
Yeah. Do you guys have any? Are there any of the? Because everyone kind of goes off their own ways. Do you have one you like in particular? Like one of the groupings of characters?
Oh, in this season?
Uh-huh.
I just like, well, it's tough because I like David Harbour so much that really anything with David Harbour, I have who plays Chief Hooper? Is that
Hopper?
Oh yeah, Hop, because I call him Hop. I like David Harbour so much. Really, anything he's doing, I'm enjoying. But
has his character always been like that chubby?
No,
because he's real chunky in this season.
I think they specifically
chubbed him up.
I think they chubbed him up,
and he's drinking a lot more than. Or is he? I mean, he always is by drink. I was just like, ugh, he looks terrible. And I was expecting him to be kind of hunky because he was Hellboy, but it would.
Well, you can see, like, there's a couple shots where, like, it's pretty obvious that they're like hiding. He's like hiding a bunch of, like, muscle under, like, a bunch of fat. Like,
totally.
There was like a shot where you could see, like, where he had a shirt off, where he, like, you could tell he has this, like, big old gut, but, like, his shoulders are huge. And I'm like, okay, well. They tried to cover that up as best they could to make him look like a normal, like, aging fat guy.
There's some scenes where, like, he's standing next to a door or something, and you're like, wait, is he 7 feet tall? Like, he's a big man, yeah. I love watching him fight people, though.
Yeah, I think I like all the David Harbour stuff, yeah. What about you?
So him and Winona Ryder are your favorite little duo?
I think so, yeah.
See, I'm a little bothered by how violent he is this season. Like, there's a scene he has with the mayor where it escalates very quickly.
Yeah, it does.
Like, he goes to confront him, and the next thing he's, like, threatening to chop off his finger and stuff. And that kind of, like, I don't know if you guys saw Evan Rachel Wood tweeted out, like, don't date a guy like Hopper.
Oh, no, I did not see that.
It's been a pretty big, like, controversy on the Twitter webs. But I do like David Harbour a lot. He makes it really likable.
Yeah.
Even if he's kind of sadistic. And I didn't know what I would do with Winona Ryder coming back, because she does, so much of her has just been kind of being worried about her son that I was like, that's going to get old.
Yeah, yeah.
I like her quirkiness, that she's just, they don't have her playing kind of shrill and worried, but she's still crazy.
Yeah, I actually like her a lot.
Yeah, she's fun. I love the fact that for half the season, she doesn't know anything else is going on. She's just concerned about her stupid magnets.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
The kids are, now post-pubescent and just as annoying as those kids are. Kids are at that age. I was like, oh, I don't like any of these kids now.
It's really weird to watch the main kids, like Mike and Will and them, making out with girls and stuff.
Yeah.
It feels gross. It feels like I shouldn't be watching it.
Yeah, it's really weird because they're not quite teenagers yet, but they're not really little kids, and they're just kind of in that really awkward gangly stage, and it's just like, this doesn't feel romantic. It feels very gross.
Yeah.
Do we know how old the kids are supposed to be this season?
I don't. I would assume... none of them are learning to drive or anything yet.
Right.
So
I was 14? 14.
Okay.
I was thinking season 1, beginning of middle school, season 3, end of middle school, 6th to 8th grade is how I've been picturing it.
Okay, yeah, that's I would probably agree with that. Yeah, it's just kind of weird to watch them all hormonal and stuff, and just in that really awkward phase. I don't know how, when the show goes into the next season, are they going to start being high schoolers, and will that have the kind of same appeal, or?
Yeah.
So.
I don't know. Part of me hopes there isn't a next season because I like this one so much, but wait, is it already, on the books? Is there going to be, 6 seasons already?
I know this has been breaking records for Netflix, so I would assume they're going to milk this as long as they can.
You know who is my favorite character and I'm obsessed with is Billy, who I was also obsessed with last season.
Oh, Billy.
But he is so handsome and I think I like his, he's just a really good actor. I don't know, he's just a very talented young man.
Yeah,
he's a goober in real life if you Google him, so don't, but...
I just remember last season, I did not understand why they had him on the show. He had a lot of time on the show, but he did nothing.
Yeah, that's right, yes.
But this season, he's really scary.
He's kind of a scary last season when he fought Steve. That's kind of a spoiler, but right, wasn't that when he fought Steve? And he could have killed. He wanted to kill him. He was a scary guy last season.
I think it's okay to spoil season 2, right?
Yeah,
a year and a half.
Okay, all right. But you know what I mean? He was a scary. I remember thinking last season that he was a quote unquote scary guy.
Yeah, he was a good
violent.
Yeah.
He was a good villain.
I agree. Scared of him.
Yeah, but I think Chris is right. He season, other than be he felt oddly out of place as just a normal high school bully in the context of them fighting monsters and demon dogs and having a possessed best friend and stuff. So it felt a little.
He also has a very odd look about him, where he's definitely looks like he's older than a high schooler, but. Not, but he's just kind of strange looking, and he had the weird hair and mustache and anyways, I like what he adds to this season. It's a lot.
I do like him a lot. Every time I see him though, I just think the kid looks like he stinks. You could just smell the cheap beer and cigarettes on
I think it really is part of the appeal, honestly.
That he stinks.
Yes, that he probably smells like BO and beer.
Yeah.
For some reason. But the scene there's one scene that I'm thinking of specifically with the kids and him right in the middle of this season that was really intense with the pool and stuff.
Yes.
Really good.
Yeah, that's a really intense scene.
And I felt bad for the sister,
Yeah. I really like Eleven and Max's kind of relationship. That's something new with the character that I really like, because I was kind of getting sick of just Eleven and Mike being the only relationship they focused on with her.
Totally.
But they have a lot of fun with that. But I'll always just love anything with Dustin.
He is really good.
Yeah,
I was reading more about that disorder that he has. Well, it's a disability, and it's really sad. I don't know, like there's like life expectancy issues, and like normally these people have to have tons of surgeries. He's like missing all kinds of bones in his, he's missing his collarbone. He's got like extra teeth and missing teeth where he should have teeth. It's really kind of horrifying.
Last season, didn't they give him teeth?
Yes, they did.
And this season he's back to just not having them.
Which I thought was weird.
They kind of talk a little bit about, like, I don't think they've ever mentioned that Dustin had a sickness or anything, but they do bring it up at one point, like he's got this weird disease and he can fit in tight places and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, he brought it up this season, but then last season he had said, like, that his permanent teeth came in or something. Like, they had made some comment, like, oh, you have teeth, like, they must have, like, cosmetically fixed them. I mean, like, he gave him in his mouth to wear, like, just
dentures,
dentures. And then I know that he had a big renaissance personally about, like, showing, like, with his disability, like, wanting to not hide it. So maybe he was like, I'm not gonna
that's
wear it
possible
this season.
Well, because his line, there was some line in season 2 about early on where he said something about his girl can't resist his like pearly whites. And he kept, like, making that sound,
That really off-putting, like,
Yeah, that's exactly it, yeah. But I don't remember if what the explanation for his teeth was, but yes.
Oh, and what about Nancy and, gosh, you know what? That is so unmemorable. Unremarkable, rather, Jonathan. I like them. But yeah, like kind of shrug. Nancy's always kind of shrugged to me, but
their whole storyline, it's not unimportant, but it's definitely the one I'm least interested in.
Yeah,
Matt, I was going to ask you this: is that newspaper just cartoonishly over the top?
Yeah, well, it's funny because it's when Sarah and I were watching it, I kept saying, like, that's not like a newsroom at all. Like, I'm like, that's a bunch of baloney. And then I was, like, thinking about, like, all the jokes we used to tell, like, in the newsroom.
Well, okay, that part is accurate, yes.
And I was like, oh, well, okay, so it's like, some of the humor is, like, right on. I don't know. It's pretty cartoony.
It feels weird. Like Gary Busey's son is kind of just, take your dumb story elsewhere. That's
very cartoony.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I couldn't believe, like, how big do you think that town is?
That was my point.
Yes, it's a very big newspaper for a small town.
Yeah, what would they have? Like, how many people did they have in an editorial meeting? Like, I felt like there was like 9 people in an editorial meeting.
I thought the same thing.
And I'm like, this is like a town of like 10,000 people.
Yeah, we covered a lot of ground at the paper we worked at, and we had, I think, at the maximum, 6 people in our editorial meetings?
It was 8 when I started there.
Okay,
I think that was the biggest there was. But we covered, I mean, we like the 3 towns we covered, were like 100,000 plus, like maybe 150,000 people, like between Shelby and Sterling Heights. That's like 70,000 each.
Yeah. So I think that's why their story doesn't quite gel. But it does have some really creepy moments when they're kind of chasing down this story, and what they discover is kind of it leads to some of the story's grosser stuff. Yeah.
Yes, their stuff I thought started slow, but actually they have some of the more memorable sequences, I think, actually, as you get further into the season.
Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah, yes. A lot of the parts where the plot, like, the plot's always moving forward in all of them, but the parts where the plot starts to, like, meet with the other points, it's always with them. It's always, like, they're sort of, like, connecting the dots for you,
Yeah.
Anyways.
And Maya Hawke. I like Maya Hawke in this a lot. Who is Robin?
Oh, yes.
She is Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman's daughter.
Oh, yes.
And once you know that, Matt, we were talking about this earlier today. Once you know that she is Uma Thurman's daughter, it colors her entire performance.
Yes. I Sarah, after last night, after we finished it, Sarah sent a message. She's like, "Hey," she's like, "Did you realize that was Uma Thurman's daughter?" And I was like, "What?" Like, oh my gosh! Now that you say that, it's like so obvious. Like,
same.
She looks just like her. She talks just like her.
Yeah.
Like, some of her delivery is like delivers lines exactly like her mother does.
Yeah. It's really noticeable. I was just watching Batman and Robin a few weeks ago for something I was writing, and I could hear Poison Ivy coming out in that character sometimes.
Yeah.
I could see that. Yeah. I mean, she was really, really good. But yes, it's just like kind of a funny thing that, how much she sounds and looks like her mother. But yeah, she was really good. I thought she was. I think her character has an interesting role. I think she was a good addition to the show, actually.
Yeah, she's a lot of fun. I don't know. What else do you guys want to talk about on this?
Did you laugh after you said that?
Yeah, I did. I was trying to figure a transition. I don't know. We didn't really pregame this, but
sure we did.
Sure, yeah, we had an email. No, I mean, is there anything else that stands out to you guys about this?
Well, I'll say that I'm, like I said earlier, I think I liked it more than the last season. I think it's I don't know where I'm going with this. Sorry.
I liked that Sean Astin was in last season, and now Carrie Elwes is in this season, and it's like little 80s superstars kind of making little cameos. Like, I think that's really sweet.
I did like seeing, Carrie Elwes. He was good.
His voice is so distinct. Like, even if you're like, wait, is that him? Because he's so much older than you're used to seeing him. Yeah. As soon as he opens his mouth, they're like, oh yes, it is Men in Tights.
Yeah, he was fun. It definitely made me want to watch Back to the Future.
Yeah,
Back to the Future.
And it also made me want to go hang out on the mall.
Yes, it did make me want to go.
Yes, yeah. Let's talk about that. Did it bring you a lot of 80s nostalgia? Like, I mean, they are older than us because I was born in the 80s, and they're having adolescence in the 80s. But
certainly,
the mall stuff was really ringing true for me.
Yeah, there's a lot of shots of them like running through the mall, but I was like really loving. Oh, there's a Sam Goody. I haven't been to one of those in 20 years, and there's a Ground Round and things like that. It did make me want to go to a mall and not the one by me that had empty stores everywhere.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think it's kind of an interesting. I wish I was smarter because I think there's like something interesting to be said about like malls, and kind of like the birth and the death of malls. Like, I think you could argue that malls, in a way, like at least as we see them in this season of Stranger Things, are like on their way out, right? Like,
yeah. I was asking my wife that when we were watching. I'm like, where do kids even hang out today? Because we all went to the mall, but
yeah, we did. I did too.
It's going to be great when they reboot this show in like 20 years and set it in this time, and it's just a bunch of kids sitting around their phones and at computers in different houses.
Oh, Chris.
Kids with the internet. And...
It did make me think about how much I liked working at the mall when I worked at the mall.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I got a lot of ice cream, ate a lot of hot pretzels, did a lot of mall walking around, shopping, visiting with my friends. Like, it was fun.
Yeah. Did you ever work at the mall, Chris?
I did not work at a mall. I worked at a strip mall, but
that's not a mall.
No, not at an actual mall. It did make me want to go to a old-fashioned ice cream parlor.
Oh,
so much time spent in the ice cream parlor. And remember when the malls used to have movies too? Like, I love that.
I did like that.
Yeah.
But...
Oh, I was waiting for you guys, but
no, go ahead. What
I really liked was I love how every season, like, they don't just lean into the same like 80s stuff that inspired it. Like, the first season was very John Carpenter and Stephen King and Steven Spielberg, and last season was very much Aliens inspired in some places.
Yep, definitely.
And this is really leaning into kind of really gnarly horror movies and sci-fi stuff. So there's a lot of the Terminator in this.
Yes.
In fact, so dead on that it is distracting at times.
Yeah, the guy playing the Russian Terminator. Yeah,
Yes.
it's very distracting.
There's a lot of The Thing. Day of the Dead. They actually go see Day of the Dead in the first episode.
Yeah.
But like, what I like is that when you go to the movies today, everyone is kind of just remaking those old movies. And what I like about this is it's not, doing a plot that's the same. It's just kind of using, we loved all this stuff in the 80s, so now we're going to do something that feels like that.
Yeah.
And I've always liked that. That's more like what they did with Indiana Jones and Star Wars, was they created something new that was inspired by all the stuff they love, and that's kind of this. It's its own thing, and I think in this season, too, it really feels like they can attach it to, instead of all the nostalgia, they can attach it to these characters.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a good point, yeah.
Chris, you're so smart.
I am. But
Yeah.
That's so true. That's such a good point.
It's really this show gets a lot of flack. I found like a lot of the the people who love to talk about movies and TV for a living. It's kind of the show that's not cool to like. I think because it's popular.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can see that.
And I can't get to that point because it's a very fun show.
Yeah.
Should we talk trash about the child actors? How they're like just not that great, or are we okay with that?
I mean, I definitely feel like they're getting worse as actors.
I'm looking at the boys here because I think that
No, I'll agree with that because I do think
Al and Max are both
Elle and
really
Max
good.
both give, I think, solid performances throughout. I kind of wish, kind of side note, that so much of, there's a couple things I wish that Elle would stop talking like a robot or
Or like
whatever.
she just learned English yesterday.
Yeah,
Yes.
What is she doing?
There's one point where she talks about someone going to Illinois, and she can't wrap her mind around the word Illinois. And I'm like, she's been out in the world for like 2 years. I'm sure someone has mentioned Illinois before.
Yes,
Right.
yes, exactly. She's never seen a map before.
Yeah.
Like, she's never heard her say the word before.
Right, like she watches a lot of TV.
Yeah, they watch
she
a ton of
should, yeah,
TV.
she should like have. I know. Well, like, I mean, she literally a couple times. It's in the earlier episodes, but she talks like a cave person.
Yes.
Like where she's like, yeah, I mean, I won't. It was, yeah, like, and she would be talking like fine, and then all of a sudden she would have a sentence where she was, speaking in this really like
Me, Mike,
yes,
you, Mike.
yes, she was speaking in this really weird way, and you're like, what is?
Yeah. So
it's
I'm
very strange.
I'm hoping that like goes away as a thing next season. If there is a next season, I mean, there's going to be a next season. Yeah, I kind of hope that goes away. But yes, otherwise she's very good. Her talking like a robot or a caveman, and then the nose bleeding. I'm kind of tired of seeing her nose bleed. Let's figure out a way to stop that.
Yeah.
Like she should just like roll up a clean, like that's how you know things are gonna get really badass. Is she just rolls up a little Kleenex and like stuffs it in her nose?
Yes, exactly. I would prefer that. Like, yes, do that. But yeah, the girls were really good, but yeah, the boys are really struggling to keep up. Because I thought mostly they were all pretty rigid.
There is this like one scene that's like sort of emotional with Mike and Will and what is not Dustin, the other kid, the third kid,
Lucas?
the black kid,
Lucas.
yes, Lucas.
Okay.
The Dungeons and Dragons scene.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be really emotional, and they're the three definitely the weakest acting links on the show, and the whole thing is you're like, oh, this is so painful. Oh, God, just like get this over with. But
yeah, they kind
I
of
mean,
just
in the grand scheme of things, it's not even that bad, I guess, that they're acting. But
maybe every season they should have to put Will in a coma because he's really he just looks like the Walmart version of Mike.
Yeah.
Or Topher Grace Jr.
Yeah.
but also, like, there's really nothing for him to do except, guys, can we play Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah,
that scene with him in his clubhouse was really painful.
Yes.
To watch.
Yeah.
And I was like, are they talking about how he's gay? Like, anyways, I was like, oh, were they giving him like this angle? But then I'm like, oh no, I think they just mean that he is like immature, like, you know, he's like a late bloomer.
Oh, are you talking about where Mike's like, you don't like girls?
Yeah.
I think I read an article where he's like, well, it's up to interpretation. So I don't know what it's supposed to mean. Like, I think, I don't know. I feel like there's been a theory going around for that for like 3 years, but
that he's gay.
Yes, and I don't understand why. Like, he has literally done nothing else in the show except be scared and in a coma.
Yeah, exactly.
But maybe it's like, well, I guess that would make his character interesting.
Yeah,
yeah,
well, exactly.
Like, please make him interesting.
Because they really, I mean, his character arc is arguably the weakest of the whole season. Like, he has almost nothing to do. I mean, he's very involved in the plot, but, like, I don't know. He doesn't have any of those. His moments with other characters are, like, relatively weak. Like, you can see, I don't know, some arc, some development, some growth, and most of the other characters.
He's just like a little canary in the coal mine for the monster, and then it's just his...
And then him saying, like, how he wishes things wouldn't change, which I guess maybe is an arc, but, yeah.
The one character who I thought was going to get on my nerves a lot, and I ended up, so far, I really like her, is Erica. Lucas's
the little
sister. When they kept bringing her back to, like, get the free ice cream samples, I was like, oh my gosh, how long are they gonna just keep trotting this little girl out, because it's really just a painful, smart-ass little kid.
Yeah.
But she later gets wrapped up into the story, and she's really funny, and that little actress is really, really good at what she does.
Yeah, she's very good. Yeah, she's very good. Yeah, she was funny. She was good. Good performance. She's a good kid actor. We'll see what she looks. We'll see how she does in 3 or 4 years, though.
When all the other kids age out, and so it's all about her and her friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. But, you know, this is like a show every season when it comes out. I kind of expect, all right, this is the season where it's going to fall apart, because it's really so delicate to get it right without it coming off really bad. Mm-hmm. And so far, it hasn't done that for me. I still really like it, even with the little things to complain about. It's one of my favorite shows to watch.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. We downloaded it and watched the first 7 episodes on the plane to Portland and back, so we were obviously excited to watch it. Like, we woke up, we flew out morning of July 4th, so before we drove to the airport at like 5 a.m., Sarah downloaded all the episodes onto her iPad, so we were obviously pretty jazzed up to watch it. So yeah, it's good. I'm worried that it's the kind of show that they're gonna, like, drive into the ground. Like, it's the kind of show that, like, you can suspend your disbelief to a point, but like, it's all, but like, so like in season 7 when they're like, oh, now the gang, oh, they gotta go underwater, oh, they gotta go, you know what I mean? Like, now they're fighting.
The gates opened in the ocean.
Yeah, like,
Mike, like, I don't want to go to your wedding, Mike. Let's just play Dungeons and Dragons.
yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. It feels like one of those shows that's better to be, like, you know, get out while the getting is good, but we'll see.
I always thought after the first season, they should have done the It thing and, like, had them come back as adults in modern day.
Yeah. So,
but now that It 2 is coming out, they kind of can't do that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe. I don't know.
It wouldn't be a bad, like, season 4, kind of do, like, a different trilogy.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to be more of the same.
Yeah. Go with what works.
Yeah. No, that's good. It'll be all right. You know, I'll keep watching it until it's bad, and then I'll stop watching it.
All right. Well.
Right? I don't like it.
There's our parting advice.
You do that, Matt. So, we do want to hear what our listeners think about this, though.
Yeah, email us.
Right? Beth, where can people email us?
Oh, they can email us at hello. It's what's our podcast name? Hello Wasting Time Podcast at gmail.com. Sorry.
And we also have a Twitter account now, which is Wasting Time Podcast. And there are not many tweets on there yet because I haven't tweeted, but we'll get some stuff out there. And you can always find us on Facebook. We're very active on Facebook.
Yeah.
But Matt, where are you at online?
You can find me on Twitter at Matt December.
Beth, where are you?
I'm at unicornfood.com. That's YOUNICORN food.com. And then all my socials are on there.
All right. You can find me writing about movies at MichiganSportsAndEntertainment.com. And find me on Twitter at Mere Christianity. And listen to my other podcast, We're Watching Here, every other Friday, also on Big Heads Media Network.
Woohoo!
So we'll be back next week.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.